So oftentimes, if we're talking about the Blackmagic 6K, the number one lens we're out here recommending is the Sigma 18 to 35 1.8. But today's not the case. I want to talk to you about my three favorite lenses. That does not include the 18 to 35. What's going on, guys? In this video, I want to talk to you about my three favorite lenses that I actually got for under $500. Each one of them, and I know you can see there's some L glass here, and those things get expensive. But trust me, I want to give you a couple of tips on how I buy my lenses and lenses that you should look for after you get your 18 to 35, or if you don't want the 18 to 35 because you need image stabilization, alternative recommendations. So first up, let's talk about how I buy my lenses before we actually get into the top three. I buy used gear. That's it. Don't that like 100%. Just go out and buy used gear. I got all of these lenses probably, this one was $500 off, this one was $700 off, and this one was $300 off because I bought them used. They were B- or C+ tier, but they have no flaws, no scratches. Everything works perfectly fine because I just went and bought used gear. I bought from sites like Adorama or Borrow Lenses. Rental companies have used camera gear that are usually in flawless condition that they just sell off because there's a newer version or they renew their stock. So look into used camera gear for that. So first up, my number one new favorite lens. I mean, I've fallen in love with this thing. This is the 17 to 28 2.8 from Canon. This lens produces such a wide range of versatile footage. Like, I have used this so much more than the 18 to 35. I love the 18 to 35. That 1.8 is crispy. That 1.8 is like fantastic. But this, being able to go to 55 when I need to punch in really fast, still being at 2.8 to have, that subject isolation. This thing is just, it's gotta be the best running gun lens I have. Like, I use it with the Easy Rig because it has image stabilization, so it gives me that extra layer of stabilization. I have no complaints, and I don't know why this lens isn't talked about more. Yes, it's made for just crop sensors, and they say it can, not be as sharp. And I don't believe it's as sharp as the Sigma, but we're shooting in 6K, and those are pixel peeps right there. This thing is, just get this one, like 100%. I'm putting my neck out there and I'm just gonna be like, this is the one to get. If you're doing a matte box like I usually do, yes, there's the inconvenience that the matte box moves as it zooms in and out, but I haven't had any trouble with it. I got a follow focus ring 3D printed for it, and there's not enough good that I can say about this lens. Plus, I got it for $401, I think. It was something like 420 bucks after the shipping and all of that, but I bought this one used off Amazon, and man, what a lens to have. So going forward, this has been my number one used lens. All the B-roll and stuff that you're probably seeing on screen, all the stuff that, has been shot recently has probably been shot with this lens. Don't get me wrong, I still love the Sigma. I use the Sigma for interviews. I use the Sigma to capture stuff that I know it is specialized for. But if I get told, hey, I just need to go about a day and just run and gun with a lens setup, then I'm just gonna grab the 17 to 55. So like, this lens is so slept on. I just wanna give you a small sequence that I've shot for a recent client video solely using this lens. Next up is my B-cam lens. This is the 50mm 1.2L lens. And you're probably saying, how did you get this lens for under $500? You're lying to me, your channel's trash. Well, I found this one from, I think Adorama. Adorama had this one for like right under 500. It was almost, I think it was like 500 on the dot, like $499 or somewhere in that $500 range. This thing, it said there were exterior flaws or something. I think there is the smallest scratch somewhere on this lens that I cannot find, because they marked this thing like $700 off just because of that. And it came in like flawless condition. So if you don't mind like a little bitty scratch on your lens, go ahead and get used, because this is the lens I use for pretty much all my B camera footage. If you're looking at my interview footage, I'm complementing my Sigma 18-35 with this 50mm. This destroys the background and creates that beautiful creamy compression that we all know and love. And I consider this to be my #1 go-to for B-cam footage. So if you wanna create some depth of field, if you wanna really isolate at the 50mm range, you can stop this thing down to 1.4, 1.2, and you will get some crazy isolation. But this is my #1 B-cam recommendation. And now, last but definitely not least, is one of the sharpest lenses I have ever owned. This is the 100mm 2.8. Holy crap, this thing is nice. And I got this one for $450 off Borrow Lenses. Now, of course, Borrow Lenses is like a lens rental place. You can even look up just camera lens rentals and look through their used gear. This 100mm is my specialty lens. If I'm doing wedding film, if I'm doing some creative shots, whether it be like for cars or capturing a subject's eyes or nature, the macro lens sets it off. I've been able to get a crazy variety of footage by adding the macro lens in when I shoot this normal content, because we'll be outside doing some nature shots and then I'll get hyper close on a leaf or something like that. And it just kind of adds that little bit of wow factor. But this thing is insane. Like, I absolutely love this lens. You can use it as a B-cam lens, but it is a little bit zoomed in at 100mm because you're already shooting crop censored. So this thing is gonna be like, what, like a 160? So this is kind of a lot. But if you're using it for specialized stuff, or if you have the room in the actual place you're recording in, oh man, it's so hard to beat this. I also use this lens a lot with jib footage. So if you see that dramatic B-roll on my channel and you're wondering how it's captured, it's probably the 100mm mixed with the Edelchrome Jib 1 on a Blackmagic in 6K. It's kind of insane. So if you're asking for my top 3 lens recommendations, and of course, you want something other than the 18-35 Sigma lens that everybody talks about, welcome to my holy trinity, because I love these 3. I don't know. There's not much else to be said about it, but this is it. I'm very happy with these 3, and I don't see myself buying any new lenses anytime soon, because I don't really have a problem that I need solving right now. So with that all being said, that's all I have for you today, guys. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you loved it, consider subscribing, because I'm gonna bring you more content just like this every week. So you guys stay safe, you're loved, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.